Welcome to the PharmaSource podcast. On this episode of the PharmaSource podcast, we're live from CPHI Milan, and I'm joined today by Dr Mimoun Ayoub, who is VP Sales and Key Account Management at CordenPharma. Dr. Ayoub, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure. As a starting point, it'd be great if you could just give us a bit of an overview of Corden and what it is you do there, please.
Yeah, so we are a fully integrated CDMO, so across 6 technology platforms. Maybe I can just go very quickly through the various capabilities we offer. So we have the peptide platform, we have the injectables, we have the highly potent small molecules, lipids, and for each of those platforms we are fully integrated. That means we provide the drug substance as well as the drug product, and all the way through to the packaging labeling services for global pharma. Our customers are biotech, pharma, and some specialty pharmaceutical companies, so mostly. I've been with the company for 11 years now, and I had the global sales and key account management since now 5 years, a little over 5 years. And previously I was heading the injectable platforms and the peptide platforms. So this is how I started for pharma 11 years ago.
Thank you. And which regions do you cover? Do you have facilities in most geographies?
So we have a total of 11 cGMP plants. 9 of them are in Europe and 2 in the US.
Great.
We have API plants, 2 API plants in the US, and all of the other 9 plants, drug product and drug substance in Europe. Nothing in Asia so far.
So far.
Yeah.
Great, thank you. So recently on PharmaSource we covered how Corden's announced its largest strategic investment to date with a spend of 900 million euros in order to grow your peptide technology platform. It'd be great if you could just explain that a bit. What with that level of investment, what's that going to be going into?
Yeah, maybe I go one step back first. Look, over the last 3 years, we invested almost $500 million in various expansions, different of our manufacturing sites across the US and Europe. And we plan, so this capacity is coming now online for some of it, fully qualified, and we start manufacturing in that capacity and those expansions. Then over the next 2-3 years, we will be investing approximately 900 million. And we announced this like a couple of months ago. This will be driven by the GLP-1 growth. So the GLP-1 agonist, as you can imagine, are seeing unprecedented growth, and the pipeline, as well as the market for those that are commercially available, marketed drugs, is still expanding. So the product uptake on the market is just substantial. And the pipeline across the biotechs and the pharma is also very rich. So Corden would like to capture a very, I would say, fair amount of that business in the near future. And this is why we are working with our customers somehow to plan ahead of the curve, to be ahead of the curve, and make sure that we will have a sufficient capacity to address that demand.
Yeah. How many, approximately, would you say, how many pharmacos, how many innovators are looking to get into the GLP-1 space? Is it, as you say, the pipeline does seem very full.
Yeah, so look, if you look at the big pharma companies, most of them have acquired the asset either through in-licensing or the acquisition of a biotech company that had this type of assets in their pipeline. Right? There are still some pharma companies that do not have, or I'm talking about big pharma companies that do not have GLP-1 in their pipeline. So, but maybe this is just a matter of time. It's gonna come. Yeah. But definitely there is big interest, to further expand into that area. There are there is a lot of research in the second generation or the next generation GLP-1 agonists. So there's a lot of research happening in that space as well. So I think we can expect this market to be very fragmented sometime maybe in the second half of the 2030s.
Okay. Yeah. Where does oral solid dosage play in that? Because obviously there's a new wave of peptides coming through.
Correct. Yes. So one of the limitations for the peptide drugs have been the drug delivery, because most of them are injectables, with a few exceptions, right? So, and now we have new technologies in the drug delivery space that can deliver peptides orally. And as you can imagine, there are also now GLP-1 agonists that are orally delivered, including, marketed GLP-1 agonists, like just to mention one of them, which is semaglutide, is also formulated as a tablet. There are also other products in the pipeline that are being investigated as an oral GLP-1 agonist. I think look, there are too many moving parts. Right? So the oral delivery is one thing, but then you have also the increase in bioavailability or plasma half-life for the injectables. So as you know, most of those GLP-1 are, let's say, weekly injections, once per week, in some cases even once per month. But who knows what's going to happen in the next 5 or 10 years? Maybe we will see once every quarter, every 3 months. So, and then at some point, I don't know how relevant would be the oral delivery of GLP-1s, right? If you have one injection a month or one injection every 3 months, maybe that's, will make the oral delivery of peptides very difficult to compete, because the bioavailability is very low. It's somewhere in the 1%, right? So that means
big difference.
Yeah, that makes really a lot of big difference in terms of cost of goods.
Thank you. You mentioned HP API as being another space which Corden's investing in and active in. What's shaping that market for you at the moment? Where do you see the opportunities in HP API?
Yeah. I mean, the biggest opportunity for us is, as you can imagine, except for small molecules, we are playing in niche business, right? So in the peptides, of course, now with the GLP-1s, we tend to say that it's no longer a niche business because it just has become way too big and expected also to reach something like $120 billion by 2031, approximately. But again, highly potent peptides, oligonucleotide, lipids, these are all niche businesses that CordenPharma has strengthened its position over the last several years. And I think the leverage we have also compared to other competitors is that we are fully integrated in those niche businesses. So we are a true one-stop shop for our customers.
So making it easier for the outsourcing.
Exactly. And we continue, in those niches, expanding our capacity and expertise. So on the highly potent, since you mentioned the highly potent platform, I mean, not only on the API side, where we have really expanded our capacity, but also on the drug products. We have the hot melt extrusion capability, long-acting release formulations for tablets and capsules. We have many things that really add value to our biotech and pharma customers.
Great, thank you. So, thinking about those who are in external manufacturing roles, evaluating lots of different potential vendors who they could work with. You mentioned the fact that you're fully integrated, and that makes it easier to buy that sort of all-in-one solution. How else would you say Corden is working to operationally to be a good supportive partner for pharma companies?
Look, I always say it also to our partners, our customers. We try to see things with the eyes of the customer, right? We try really, to put ourselves in the shoes of the customer, to just be sensitive to the challenges they go through and see how we can support.
Yeah.
Right. So this is a very collaborative approach, and I think there is no other secrets. Of course, we deliver on our promises. That's important. But I believe the collaborative approach is really what makes this whole relationship, with our customer very close and very rich.
Yeah.
When you start a project, it's like you are gone for several years of relationship. So, before you put the product on the market, so you do a lot of development, clinical supply. Of course, every CDMO faces delays, faces technical challenges, etc. But I think the way we react to it, the way we address those challenges is what really makes our customers happy. We are really very proactive and anticipating potential challenges down the road. And this collaborative approach is what really makes CordenPharma a reliable supplier.
So, though many of those companies who you work with, one of their many strategic priorities will be net zero, managing down their scope 3 emissions to become a decarbonised, more sustainable business. How are you making moves to support those customers?
Yeah, so we started this journey with regard to the carbon footprint few years back. Our shareholders are extremely sensitive to that. It's a very important topic, and we see this also from as a request, an important request from our customers. And this is also part of the contract we negotiate with our customers. There is no single contract where you don't have these ESG sections in there. So, and we know as a company, we know that if in 5 years down the road, 10 years, we want to be, let's say, a preferred supplier to our customers, we have to be as close as possible and to comply as really close as possible to their ESG guidelines, right? And that's why we have initiated all of these, get a control on our scope 1 and scope 2, suppliers to reduce our carbon footprint. And we have a team at the corporate level, but also at the various sites that monitor this very, very carefully. And we report this also, our progress to our shareholders on a regular basis.
Thank you. And then finally, a question I'm asking everyone as I meet them across CPHI is, what would you say the state of the industry is right now as we're closing out 2024, going into 2025? Do you feel as though after all the disruption from COVID, do you feel as though we're going into a more positive, more cash-rich environment? How are you feeling about the opportunities for 2025?
Yeah, I think the disruption caused by COVID is definitely behind us. But also for the pharma companies, COVID also brought an opportunity. In every challenge you have an opportunity. I think this is how we should see things as well. As a company, CordenPharma grew also during the COVID, and we supported the COVID vaccine with our lipid supply, and I think we are proud of having contributed to the eradicating the COVID pandemic. I think this, I would say the COVID crisis is behind us, but don't forget that we have gone through another challenge after that, which is the geopolitical issue, right? So, which caused the energy prices to skyrocket. I think that's another, I would say another example where CordenPharma has shown a lot of agility, like during the COVID, and we continued our, growth journey.
In what way around energy? How did you manage that?
I think we anticipated somehow some of the, price increases of the energy, the inflations, etc. And then I think we reacted. We had a plan to react to this. I think overall, CordenPharma managed very well these two crises. But yeah, I think we are back to almost back to normal, I would say, and the growth is. I believe the best is still to come, hopefully, and to expect some growth to come in the next
Fantastic.
years. Yeah.
Dr. Ayoub, thank you so much for your time today.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
To keep up to date with the latest in biopharma outsourcing, sign up to pharmasource.global. Thank you for listening.